a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. People dance, pretty people dance, pretty people dance, pretty people dance, pretty people, 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 pretty people. Me to you dance, taking a chance. Telling me to you dance, taking a chance. Telling me to you dance, taking a chance. Pretty people dance, 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 pretty people, pretty people dance, pretty people, pretty people. Me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. People dance, pretty people dance, pretty people dance, pretty people dance, pretty people, pretty people dance, pretty people, pretty people dance.
I should say good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're going to be looking at this from around the world. And we're so super, super excited to be having the Women's Summit. My name is Mandy Famark, and sit back and relax and enjoy a little time with us because we're going to be sharing what I'm really passionate about. We're going to be sharing and hearing from wonderful women in network marketing. So I think so many of you may have been introduced to network marketing, may have been involved in network marketing, and you look at this industry as something you never ever want to touch again. And I can say in the last 2 years, it's been an incredible journey till this point where I've learned so much around this industry and really started understanding the essence. So the reason why I wanted to do the women's event today is really to just introduce you to some wonderful women, just like you and myself, who are wanting to better their lives, find freedom, and really just encourage an extra income to help their family, and also just really just encourage a company, or well, not a company, but like a business that they can be proud of. So I know the reason why I do this every single day, and it's to leave a legacy for my son Skylar. And it's really important. And it's the one thing that keeps me going because there's many things that make me want to stop. There are times where I don't want to continue doing this, but I push forward because I know what I'm working towards. So without any further ado, because we've got some wonderful guest speakers this evening, and we've got four lovely, lovely ladies. So I'm going to start off with our first wonderful lady, and I'm just going to give you a little intro. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. So, wonderful Lezanne is a single mom of three boys, and she lives in the beautiful historic town of Heidelberg in South Africa. She studied somatology in Stellenbosch, and after her studies, she decided to travel while working. She started her career in somatology on some of the biggest cruise liners across the globe, and her passion for health and wellness industry took flame. She then moved to the little iron ore mining town of Kathu in the beautiful green Kalahari and lived there for 16 years. She's still the co-owner of a five-star guest house and spa, and this is her full-time job. She runs the entire business from Heidelberg. She has a proven reputation of 25 years, and now her biggest passion and second income is her network marketing business. And I'm going to welcome her with us this evening. Hello, Lezanne.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And I have such a passion just to connect with everyone from all over the world because, as you heard, I absolutely love traveling. So, yes, welcome and thank you so much for the opportunity, Mandy. And congratulations with your incentive that you won, eh?
Thank you. I'm looking very forward to hitting that beach in Greece.
For sure, for sure. But it's a privilege being on here, and I appreciate what you are doing for us in this wonderful, wonderful profession as well.
Thanks so much, Lezanne. And you know what? I think this is the wonderful thing about this industry as well, is the most amazing friendships and network that you tap into. People that you don't know become really good friends of yours. And that's, I think, is what is, for me, what I'm very passionate about as well. I mean, I didn't know you a little while ago, and we've become really, really good friends in the interim. And I think this is the great thing of this industry, is that it's the connections. And I think that's the passion, or that's the essence of this business, is making connections and building those friendships to last very long into our businesses and our careers as network marketers. So as a wonderful single mom of three, How do you keep it all together? Because I know you're a very similar person to me in that we can multitask like crazy and we can juggle many balls in the air. How do you keep it all together?
Mandy, I think first of all, obviously, my hat off and a salute to every single mom around the globe, because we all know that it's definitely not a choice that you made to be a single mom, but you are in the situation, and you can't get out of it, or you cannot just like walk away from it, because obviously my boys are my life. I absolutely love them to bits. They are older now, so that also makes it a bit easier. But it was very, very difficult when they were still very small. I think I got divorced when my youngest son was 3 years old. But the eldest is now, he just finished his matric. So he's out of the house now almost. And the little one is still in grade 7 here in South Africa. But time management, self-development, and knowing what your goals and your dreams are. That is the most important. I think you need to have a mindset of, are you in this to win it? Are you in this just to maybe bring a small little extra income into your home? What is your reason of why you are doing it? And it's exactly what I just said. You want to leave a legacy behind for Skylar. And obviously for me, it's also the same. We never know how long we are still going to live. I mean, today might be my last day on earth. I never know. And I want to make sure that my boys will be sorted and they will be fine. Doesn't matter what happens in the future. But time management is really, really key. And we always speak about time. Are you really busy working your network marketing? Or do you think you are busy doing your network marketing?
I
So,
agree.
yes, you can be busy, but like, are you really, really busy? And we talk about income generating tasks. So whatever you do, always ask yourself. I mean, for me, it is difficult because my network marketing profession is my second job. I almost want to say. So with the guest house that we have, it's not always as easy to plan my day and stick to that specific routine every single day. But yeah, at the end of the day, as you said, there are many times where I also thought that, you know what, I just can't do this. I'm close to a freaking nervous breakdown. I'm close to like just enough. It's just too much. But then you just go sit down and just think to yourself, why am I doing this? And for who am I doing this? And I think for
Agreed.
me, that is the most important for me. Is just keep your eye on the prize and where you want to go and for who you want to do it. Yes.
So let's take a little step back and say, how did you decide on obviously a side hustle, and why? What made you decide on starting in this industry, this wonderful, wonderful industry?
Okay, Mandy. So obviously, I have my mom. Actually, she was in a network marketing profession, but that was almost like 25 years ago. So she really did actually well. So we grew up with sort of having a network marketing profession going on in our home. When I was still in school, so I knew about network marketing. And obviously, for me, it's not really like a industry, it's more a profession because you understand this specific profession. But what really hit me like hard was April 2020, and with our guest house, and that was global. So it was not just me; it was global. I mean, we are really doing extremely well with our guest house. It's a lot of business people that travel to Katu in the Northern Cape due to the iron ore mines there and all the manganese mines and everything. And who saw COVID coming? Who saw our guest house and our spa that had to close? And I realized that probably for the first time ever in my life, even though I really work hard and I put my time and my effort into what I'm doing, I realized that flip it. I don't have a backup. I do not have a husband that can support me with his income, where I know, okay, he will be fine and I'm just bringing in the extra income or whatever. It was really, I must say, I know this is a bad way of saying it, but I think everyone will understand. So thank you, COVID, for opening this amazing profession to me. And that has been an amazing life changing. I remember when I signed up with my company, the first, when I actually had like to purchase my kit, I was like, forget, I don't even know if I'm going to get money at the end of the month to make to like actually so that we can just live. And I just thought, you know what? This is a new door that opened for me. If I give my time, my passion, my energy, everything, and I really just sit down and focus on what I need to do, I will make a success of this. And that was almost 3 years ago. I cannot believe it. Yes.
So we know how tough this industry is, and I think we know that only 1% make it. And I believe that it's because they don't stay in it long enough. They just don't, you know, go with the punches, and they break at the first no, and they just don't look at it enough as a business. So what did you find? Well, what do you find is the toughest part of our business, our industry?
Yes, I agree with you completely, Mandy. I think a lot of people think, and a lot of people also market network marketing, the industry wrong. They make it sound like you're going to like earn millions of dollars or euros or rands or whatever your currency is in a very small time. But that is the wrong way of seeing it and thinking about it when you start with network marketing. And then there are people, and it's really sad because I absolutely love this profession. But people, they advertise it not the right way. They give hope when they don't even know how they are going to succeed in this business. And then obviously, a lot of people, and so many people have asked me, oh, is that one of that pyramid scheme? Or is it a Ponzi scheme? Or, so there's quite a people have created a very bad name for network marketing.
Hmm.
So that is for me, that is sometimes the hardest thing. To really explain to people, okay, but then you know what? If a network marketing industry or professional company that you're going to join is a Ponzi or a pyramid scheme, then all businesses are pyramid schemes because everyone works in a pyramid. You get your CEO, you get your chief financial officers, whatever. But
Agreed.
the most amazing thing about network marketing is that the people at the bottom will earn the same as the person on the top. Just depends on the time that you put in. And I think what is also sometimes difficult for me is, as you said in the beginning, I'm not freaking a fire person. I love what I do. I have a very, very big passion and a love for people. And sometimes just to get everyone on your same page, and to get your organization really like fired up and let them run with you. But I've also, if there's one thing that I learned in network marketing, which was not this space 3 years ago, it's definitely patience. Everybody's time is not my time. Their time will come when it is the right time. But yeah, as you said, 1% of network marketing people actually go to the top, and they quit too soon. They really quit too soon. This is not something that is just going to like make you a millionaire overnight. You really have to put the time and the effort into this. But oh my soul, it's absolutely so worth it. Just stick, just people that look up to the people that really, so if I can give some advice, just look up to the people that are there and just follow them and just stick to them and connect with them and get out of negative situations, get away from negative people, stay away from the television with all the negativity going on around the world. And it makes you a better person at the end of the day, for sure. Yes.
Absolutely, I agree with you totally on that one. So you've also
Ooh.
just reached quite a high rank, which it came with so much work and dedication. What makes you keep going, and what's the thing you have as a goal that makes you push forward and not give up?
Sure, Mandy. That is a question. If you asked me that 3 years ago, and if you ask me that question now, it most definitely changed so many times. So when I started with my company, it was really just to use the products. Honestly, I really just wanted to give a more alternative natural medicine for my children and teach them that there are natural alternatives. And then obviously I was blown away. I mean, I studied dermatology, so I knew exactly what aromatherapy was. I knew what essential oils was, etc. But yes, I did not. I did not understand what real, true, pure essential oils were. But I don't want to go into that. But I really just wanted to use. I really just wanted to use the product. And then I started seeing the results. I saw the testimonies, and I just started sharing these amazing products with people. And then I realized, okay, but listen, it's not so bad to receive my commission every single week. Okay, now I'm receiving 5 payments every month. So this is like really just like if there's just like putting like little pockets of money into small little places where I needed it. So my why and my goals and my dreams has changed so much. And now this year specifically, I have more than 500 and something people in my organization. And as you said, they become your family. It's not friends even anymore. It's strangers that turns into friends and friends that turns into family. And you get so connected with these people, with these ladies, because most of the people in my organization are ladies. You get so connected with them. You get to love them so much that you want to see them succeed. And sometimes I think maybe I want it more for them than they want it for themselves. But you do have the very, very strong leaders in your organization that just want to like go on, kick on forward, and just I really want to help, and I really want to see if each and every one of them succeed to an income where they can really just have time freedom, financial freedom. And then I know this is going to be my next question, but this December made me really realize that I will never stop this industry because if it wasn't for this industry, I would not have been able to. And it's not all about finances, and I'm not a person that lives extravagant, but I was able to buy a home for myself 2 years ago. I was able to purchase a new, very awesome car last year. And yeah, so thanks to this network marketing, I'm able to do more things financially without the stress and the worries.
And you know what? I can relate to that, Lezanne, because the same thing has happened to me. So we know that in the beginning we have to work really, really hard. And I think as you start to see your income and your commissions increase, it becomes really nice to see that. You don't always want to get overly excited about it because we also know that we have a dip and an up and a dip and an up.
Yeah.
But you know what? It starts to really sink in, and you start to really understand if I can get here and I do a little bit more, then I can have a little bit more. And you see it, every time you get into your back office. So I totally understand that. And I really, really relate to that as well. So you were nominated, by the way, Women of the Year 2022 for the health industry last year. Tell us more.
I got this WhatsApp message from one of my friends. They have an amazing community they call the East Rand Women in Business. And Shantae sent me the WhatsApp, and she's like, "Well done, my friend. You deserve it." And I was like, I thought, okay, what advertising is she sending me now? And was like, nominated for Business Women of the Year in the health and wellness industry. I almost fell off my chair, Mandy. Yeah, that was really amazing. So obviously, what they do is they will keep their eyes on you to see what you are doing, what you're doing for communities, how you're bringing change to communities, how do you interact with people, obviously, do you like people, and then what are you doing specifically for that industry? So there were many other subjects as well. And yes, I won the reward Women of the Year health and wellness industry in this area in South Africa. So
Well,
very,
it's
very big privilege.
awesome, awesome, awesome,
Yeah,
awesome, awesome. Yeah.
that was
So
really
now
nice.
we did chat a little bit about this as you were just mentioning. So you just had the most awesome holiday in Europe. Were you able to do this with the help of the income or that you got from your side hustle, or was it something that you could have just paid for and done on your own?
No, yo, Amanda, I'm not going to go into too much detail into my holiday in Europe, but I must tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you to this amazing network marketing profession. I really went over, bought my flight tickets. We actually stayed we were in Europe, so we were in Italy, we were in Sicily, and we were in Malta, and we were in Istanbul. And I really went over there without a single worry about finances. What I'm going to buy, what I want to buy. Obviously, I saved. Okay, so obviously it wasn't just like spending and splurging my money all around, but we did the most amazing things ever. And being in Europe for 25 days in December really made me realize that we don't always live our lives. We have these amazing homes, we have these cars, and but we still have debt. So we are living more, maybe a little bit more expensive, and you will understand now where I'm getting from. And I said to my mom as well, because I traveled with my mom and my dad, so it was very, very special. But I said to them as well, we are so like enclosed in our homes, and we really work hard, yes, and I absolutely love what I do, but we don't live our lives. So I am most definitely planning another trip for this December coming. I most definitely want to take my boys. So this is my goal for this year. Is to be able to go overseas with my boys this year and show them like what we've experienced. Because you come back a different person if you travel. There's something inside your heart that changed. There's something inside your soul that changed. You have completely different perspective of different traditions and different little towns, and oh, it was just absolutely phenomenal. So no, Mandy, there would be no way that I would be able to do this if I was not in my network marketing profession. So
Well, I do
very,
think
very privileged.
I do think you're right in saying that it feeds your soul and it definitely opens up your consciousness and it allows you to, I think, the more that you're able to travel. I mean, I know that I've traveled quite a lot around the world. And every time you do, I think you do see things so differently. You come back with new perspective, as you said, you come back with new insight and new drive and new passion. And, a good holiday like that always feeds, that little bit of dynamicness that you bring back and you think, you know what, I'm just going to get going this year and I'm really going to push forward. So absolutely. And I think this isn't the next question that I want to ask, because many people don't think that we can make real money in this industry. I think possibly because, like you said in the beginning, so many people advertise that you can make this hundreds and thousands of dollars and euros, as you said. But in actual fact, you have to start somewhere and build up on that. So, many people look at it and they go, no, well, you know what, only the people at the top are making a lot of money. But sorry, the people at the top just stayed in it long enough to actually get that kind of income. So what are your thoughts on this kind of mindset that people have?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just always say I also started only with one person in my organization. Then it became 10. Then it became 50. Before you actually like wipe your eyes, you are like, oh my goodness, I'm a two people organization. I am like, I've got five people, blah, 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 whatever. But the thing is, people think they are not able to do it, and it's all a mindset. They have limiting beliefs about themselves. Obviously, I always say when you have people, the person that signed you up, what support are they giving you? But if they do not give you any support, there are more than enough support out there on our website. We have team calls, we have weekly team calls, we have the most amazing support. So just when you start this business, say to yourself, okay, I am going to do this for a year. I'm going to commit myself for a year, but I'm also going to give it my all, and I'm not going to depend on someone up, in my upline or my downline or my cross lines or whoever to help me to get there. Because if I can make it as a single mom of three boys, and I have my full-time job, okay, which really keeps me busy, okay, if I can do it, if Mandy can do it, why can you not do it? There's nothing that can, and I'm looking directly into the camera and I'm speaking from my heart. There's nothing that can stop you to make, to become that one person, 1% of the network marketing, who are going to earn millions in, let's say, the next 5, 6, 7 years. So I think what is really also very, very important is to understand that obviously in network marketing we have different ranks, okay? Just take it day by day. Just take it rank by rank. Just keep going, okay? And give it your all. Even if you can just spend an hour a day on your network marketing profession. And an hour might sound like, oh no, I don't have an hour. That's what I thought. There are days when I spend almost 4 to 5 hours a day in my network marketing business because I made a decision. I will not have limiting beliefs in myself, in my upline, in my company, in the products that we have. I will absolutely give it my all and then see what happens. And that's what I did. And it's almost 3 years later, and I'm so glad that I stick and just gave it my all. So yes, just just and I think the other thing that is really also important, Mandy, is you are working with many different kinds of people, many different personalities, many people with different backgrounds, people in the medical profession, just like single moms like myself or housewives or whatever. Personal development has also taught me a lot of how to stay focused, how to stay positive, and then also to get your organization to stay positive and how to get them there at the end of the day when they feel down. Because listen, I also slut their pros, eh? I also feel like some days I don't want to do anything. I want to lie on my couch and I want to sleep, and I just, please don't bother me. I don't want to work on my phone. We get there, okay? But the next morning, it's a new day. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. Get up, go there, and make a difference in someone else's life. That is for me. That's the most important.
Well, Lezanne, I think number one, most people who come into this industry, first of all, don't treat it as they are the CEO. So you cannot, as a CEO of your own company, you cannot rely on anyone else to do the work and to get out there and build your business. So I think exactly what you've said now is the ownership of your business. It's my business. I need to strategically look at what I need to do, and then I have to learn how to do it and implement it. And I think that is just so important. And the other thing that I think is lacking is the consistency. You
Yes,
can't do it one day and not the next. You can't
yes,
start this week and go hell for leather, and then next week you go, oh, you know what, exactly that. I'm lying on my couch and I don't want to do nothing. So I think the consistency, and I know what keeps me in this day after day, is I treat it like I've got a boss.
yes,
So I know if I don't work, I will get fired. It's in the back of my head. And I just treat it like that, that I know that I've got to wake up, get dressed, and go to work. And I feel that that's for me, because I'm quite an ADHD person and a ADD, but I've got like a lot of crap going on in my head. But for me, because I can also not be very disciplined and I can also get very distracted, I have to create a certain kind of structure for myself, and that's very, very important for me. So I think if you are wanting to, build that business to a six-figure salary, you are going to have to be exceptionally structured. And in particular, if you are running a business on the side and you've got to work, then you really have to be structured. So I think, also, Lizanne, I think, you have to give up some stuff. Very
yes,
often I never used to go out. I would rather stay at home and work on the weekend because I would have to do a presentation or something that I would have to do for the next week for training. So I think, you've got to be someone who's going to give up a bit And you've definitely got to be someone who's going to be consistent, disciplined, and structured. I think this is what many don't look at it as, and they allow life to take over, and then it just all falls apart. And the unfortunate thing then is that they blame the industry, but it's not the industry. The industry is a wonderful vessel. It is actually built for your success. If you fail, it's not the industry, it's you. You haven't put in enough work. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So then comes my last little question for you, and this is a good one. So many people are happy to stay miserable with not enough to have happy lives, and most don't want to work extra hard to change it. What would your advice be for them?
Oh, yeah. I read that question when you sent it to me, and I was like, that's a difficult one, man, because I'm a very positive person. It's difficult for me to be in situations where people are like, blah, 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 blah. They're complaining about, like, especially in South Africa, we've got load shedding. So for everyone that's watching, if you don't know what load shedding is, we only have a certain amount of energy or electricity. Like now we are in stage 3 load shedding. That means we have about 6 hours of no electricity during the day. Okay. So this can either kill my business or it can just make it stronger. Yes, it is a challenge, but we all have challenges. You might have a challenge that I don't even know about. I might have a challenge that you don't even know about. And it's really difficult for me to connect with people who are in a stage where they are so miserable emotionally. They don't have the finances, but they will still just sit in front of the television. And I think they need, and I do believe, let's end this off very, very positively, because I just love sharing my love with people. You can do this business sometimes. You can do this business full time, or you can do it part time. But you cannot do this business sometimes. And what I always tell myself is, if anything happens in my life, okay, I'm not going to repeat this obviously now live, but I will close my door here in my office and I will literally scream like, ah! And I'll say, okay, over and done. Let's just do this again. So your mindset is so important. And I don't want people, and I always say, I really want to empower people because there are so many single moms out there. And my passion and my heart, my understanding the hurt and the pain that I also went through with everything that happened in my life, I'm just like, do you know what you can achieve? Not just financially, okay, but like standing up for yourself and be proud of what you've become, being all by yourself, being all a single mom. And for me also is to be an example to my boys that don't go and sit in a corner and cry now because what happened in your life. Stand up, make a difference, go and follow people that went through the same situations that you are in now. How did they get through it? And become that person. Become that person that will help other people achieve something in their life that you wanted to achieve when you were there, when it was really stuck in your bad times. Yeah, so it's just my life has changed, Mandy. I don't know when last I worked so well and I had such an immense passion for what I do. But it's because I love working with people. And I think another thing also is when you connect with people, they are like, oh no, I cannot sell. Okay? You don't need to sell anything. If you believe in what you are using at the end of the day, you will absolutely be able to do this business. Go get the support, learn, go tell yourself how many hours you want to spend a day in your network marketing profession. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody on this earth can actually do this business. Yeah. So yeah, I think that is it for me, Mandy.
You know what, Lezanne, that I think this is why I wanted to do this summit this evening, was to show wonderful women like you and myself that other women exactly that can do what we are doing. And I think the only thing that I've learned from myself in this business is that you've got to be coachable. You've got to be able to learn a lot. There's a lot. I didn't realize that until recently, that there's a lot to learn. There's lots of tools that you need. Network marketing has changed from the dinosaur that it was. We've got social media. We've got all these wonderful platforms that we can connect with people around the world. That wasn't there in the beginning. Now, I'm very certain that your mom, who started network marketing in the beginning, could only do the belly to belly because there was no cell phones, there was no
No.
Zoom, there was no Facebook, TikTok, and all the other. So their businesses and building their business was much harder than what it is for us today because we can connect with so many more people. So, we don't want to knock, I don't want to knock the people that are perhaps a bit lazy or they're not motivated or they're not as dynamic as you and I. However, if you are sitting in a situation where you need an extra income, and this may be the thing that you would like to step into, we want to just say to you that it's not any different to anything else out there. And I think I would love to see and get it out there to more people that this is just like another business. It isn't the pyramid scheme. It isn't all of those things that people have in their mindset, because I was one of those haters. I really didn't like network marketing. I didn't want to touch this industry. But truly, I think that I'm really hoping that in the future, more and more of us are able to get across that it's just like any other business. As long as you put in the effort, as long as you put in the energy, you will definitely succeed. And the length of time as well is you've got to look at this industry as a 5-year career, a 5 to 7 year career. You cannot do it before then. You're learning and doing and learning and doing, and that's what grows your business eventually, because you build that network from word of mouth, doing what we're doing as well, and that's how we grow our businesses. So I want to thank you so much. She has become such a I think we recharge one another's batteries sometimes.
Absolutely.
Got so much energy. I've got so much energy. Sometimes I'm like a lack of energy. Then I just call her and she just like fires me up. But and that's the great thing about this, is that connection, just total connection. So thank you so much for being on here this evening. It's been a super awesome time just hearing from you, sharing, and that's why we're here this evening. So thank you, Lezanne. I will see you soon.
Thank you so much, Mandy, and much blessings to everybody all around the world. And just start, just go for it. Thank you, Mandy, for having me. I really appreciate it. And God bless to everyone. Bye.
Cheers. So perfect. So we're on to our next speaker, and this is a wonderful lady all the way from Poland. I had to record it because, bless her heart, Marlena was so nervous. So excuse, as we did the interview, I was speaking and asking her some questions, but I realized how really she didn't understand a lot of the English. So, but she answered. We were practicing beforehand, and she had her questions that she was reading. So I took my hat off to her that she got through it, and she's got some absolutely amazing insight to share with us.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
So just bear with me. I'm going to just bring up the screen. Just let me make sure that it's the right one. There we go. Next up, we've got an incredible lady all the way from Poland. And I've had the pleasure of just viewing what she does here and there. And she's quite a dynamic person. So we've got Marlena Klesta. I hope I have it right. And I'm going to bring her on with us because I have a really bad thing with names. So I generally get them wrong, Marlena.
Hello, Mandy. Hello, everyone.
And it's so good to have you here. And you know what's nice about this, Marlena, is that we're having lots of ladies from around the world. You know, we want to share with these lovely audience that we are normal ladies, just like you and I. We're no special. We don't have anything amazing other than being our wonderful selves, creating wonderful businesses in this industry. So, cool. Introduce yourself and let us know kind of who you are.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful event, Women's Summit. Thank you for considering me a valuable person with a story worth sharing with others. Let's get started. I know you have question for me.
I have lots of questions for you, but not too much. So, we're talking all around network marketing and the industry. And I know that you come from a marketing background. So, what made you leave your marketing background to join network marketing?
Mhm. I had an advertising company in Poland for 8 years, and I worked in advertising for about 20 years in general. At the same time, I had a massage and hyperbaric therapy room. I was running from one company to another. My advertising company was well known in my city. I had an employees, an office, and a warehouse. I cooperated with the other companies that did a service and assembly of flagpoles for me. I had a lot of difficult cases to take care of and a lot of commitments. In the office, I rested a bit, but also messages. And at the same time, it was necessary to take care of employees, training staff, and hyperbaric chamber therapy diary. I was out until here. Already then, I knew that my fascination with the human body would lead me to new areas because I met many interesting people in the field of nature medicine. I was already changing a lot and I wanted more. In the meantime, my advertising company was no longer profitable. Too much and aggressive competition made it difficult to maintain profitable margins. And as I got older, I wanted to quiet business and a secure and stable incomes. I was already thinking about the change. At the time, my mother's illness was also developing. She had been living in the UK for many years and I could not help her from Poland, who became my first satisfied client and I close partner in the business today. One thing for sure, I was afraid. I was sometimes lost in my thoughts and fears, but not a single day did I miss all day. Not once did I think I'd like to go back.
So I can relate to you, Marlena, because I was one of those people that ran many businesses and had my finger in many pies. And I also had a wellness business where I ran like a crazy person. And in fact, what you end up doing is making everyone else happy and not yourself. So, and I think that's where the wonderful ness around network marketing comes from is you need other people to help you work less and rest more. You just said now there's yes, you did rest, but in all honesty, when you work and you multitask like we do, and I think you're very good at that, like me, we tire ourselves out and we don't end up gaining anything from it. So I can relate very much to your story. So we know that network marketing is not easy. We know that it requires quite a lot of tenacity, lots of energy, and lots of discipline. So, what were the struggles that you found in your business up until now?
Mhm. I think that the difficulties I will point out are discussed by many network leaders because these are the basic issues that comes from the lack of skills in this type of sales. Um, Rejection. Many people who heard MLM networking ignored my offer, my help, and this is hit me personally, which was very sad. Another difficulty is the sale itself because my products are rather expensive. So I had to learn their good value and learn to talk about it with clients. Mm, Registration. How to sign someone up to the system. After all, MLM is like contagious disease. They don't want to sign up. Um, Next time, once they have signed up, how to make them continue shopping. After all, the products are phenomenal and work quickly. So why keep buying? I had to seriously convince myself that it makes sense to be able to give reason to my clients. There have been difficulties with the development of my group. I had no clue how it works. What should I do? Together with my upline, I'll learn to lead my distributors, motivate them, and encourage them to be consistent. I had a hard time with a conflict within in the structure. I was completely new to me. I had to understand that not everyone likes and will not always like each other. There were also situations where I had to speak up and make some tough decisions. This is very challenging for new leaders. I had to learn how to Zoom, how to webinars, show myself on camera. It was a total step out for my comfort zone. And next, I was struggling with my confidence. Seriously, who was I to teach others? I needed many conversations with the leaders above to understand and get a good example to follow, but I also needed feedback from people below in the structure to know that I was needed, that I'm doing something valuable. Hmm? So many decisions to make. What do I want to do in MLM? How do you want to do your MLM? I'm in the direction whether I want to focus on registration or on building relationship and running a group. Very confusing at start. Wanting to do training, events, and fulfill myself as a group leader, I stopped registering, and that was a mistake. Today, I know that even with a group of 1,500 distributors, my goal for each week is to serve new customers and keep registering lead the group. I have dealt with this struggle and I know that they no longer define me. But on the other hand, I have discovered that MLM is business with many ups and downs. And I just wanted to go up. I couldn't imagine to drop from certain level that I can lose people. Then I can miss a moment and fail at something, and that needed to build it back from scratch. Mm? And today, I consider is the most important consistency, and systematics. It is very simple, but not easy.
So, Marlena, those are some amazing, amazing facts because we do assume that we can come into this industry and wing it. I just did a wonderful reel the other day where I said, you cannot come in. It's like any industry. You know, a doctor doesn't get a scalpel when he starts in year one. It will be very sad for the person that he's operating on. So he gets that scalpel after 7 years of studying. Then he knows that he's a good doctor. He knows what to do with the body and he knows how to do open heart surgery. So I think the very same thing, and I find it odd, and I was one of those people who did not understand that you cannot really, in all essence, bring with you your corporate knowledge because network marketing is a completely different animal. And you do need to learn specific tools. You do need to have some really amazing skills for you to really grow.
Yes,
And it's not something that you learn in the beginning. You have to learn and do, learn and do, learn and do. And so you become, as you just said, more confident. And then you start stepping out, as you said, learning how to do Zoom, putting yourself out there. I think that is the hardest thing in network marketing because we want to use social media and because it's such a big part of our business. Stepping out of your comfort zone, I think, is the hardest. I know I was struggling with that last year. I just couldn't do it. So
uh,
you want to say something?
yes, yes. I was coincidence, my professional decision, family decision, and quickly reaction. Neither the change of country nor the pandemic and the lack of messaging in the UK prevented me from earning well and living at the right level. MLM gives you great freedom at work, I'm sure. And I am one of the few Polish women who did not work a single day in a factory or warehouse in the UK. From day one, I had a computer, desk, and internet, so I had my business complete.
Is that something that is obviously very much a Polish thing that the women go and work in a factory, whether you like it or not? Is that something that is standard? I never knew that actually.
Yes, my strength, maybe that allow myself to be weak sometimes.
But that's okay.
Seriously, looking at my colleague and wondering why they are not successful, I find a few differences in how we work. I share it with you, okay? I'm very creative during sales talk, and I can react quickly to impulses from the clients. I'm scheming and I'm always focused on solution, not the problem. I'm stubborn, so I walk at the walk and don't feel guilty and sharing my product. I keep it simply. I learned to watch my work health and sanity, so I work to live rather than live to work. Yes, I am very assertive in my work relationship, but it wasn't like that a few years ago because I was able multitask. I did not value myself properly at work. Because I love people, I have a lot of heart and ideas for them that lead to success, lead customer to health, business partner to good earnings. And next, I am cool. So people like me and want to be me, learn from me, and take advantage on the fact that is also like to do it. Sorry,
Fantastic. No,
my
no, no,
English
no.
No good yet, but I'm still
She's
learning.
doing a sterling job, and she was so nervous when she came on. And I said, you know what, you're going to be absolutely fine. So hats off to you. That's very true, Marlena. And you know what? It's cool that you think you're cool because that's what makes other people attractive for you because they will attract to that wonderful energy around you. So I love
Yes,
it. Advice for women. So we'll have a lot of women that are going to be looking at this and
okay.
thinking, oh my word, those are those women doing that thing. And yes, we are doing that thing and we're very successful at it. So what is your advice?
Advice for a women, because I know that about 80% of the network is women. It seems that women do not need advice. They are the majority and beat men in statistic. But not all women are successful. So maybe I will focus on advice for women who want to be successful in MLM but cannot do for some reason. Find a product and a company that you will love. You will not do business by force without believing in the brand. Find a leader who has already achieved success and do what they did. Don't overthink it because it's a waste of time. And get up in the morning, dress in a good mood, paint your lips with red lipstick, and call, talk, and plan your first 1,000 meeting with clients from day one. It's very important. Mm.
So I think that's a good one, Marlena, because many of us don't understand its network marketing. It's not net, I'll do it tomorrow. It's you've got to do it now and every single day.
Day, yes.
Every single day. So um, I love I love what Marlena said. I had to laugh when I was reading over her answers that she said to me, and she said, dress in a good mood and paint your lips red and then call. So you're ready to rock it. Okay, so you are just one short of your top rank, and I applaud you for that. How does that feel? And I bet you're going for gold in this year and you're going to reach the top rank. I'll be rooting for you.
Okay. Being well-known leaders, presidential director is a wonderful place. This promotion is associated with beautiful emotion and great commitment for my team. So I am proud of myself and grateful to everyone who helped me. However, it's also a responsibility because from now I can't just leave and disappear. There is a lot of work, many tasks, many responsibilities, a lot of new challenges and surprises unknown to me. But I can recommend it this time. I recommended being here. I have the last step in the promotion ladder, and of course, this is my goal for this year. I intend to achieve the status of Senior Presidential Director 2023 together with my team.
So I think that is it, and I think many women, the reason why we're doing this, Marlene, is also to show women that we can do it. I think many women come into this industry and don't feel that they can reach the top. I think we see, and we're looking at the stats and we know that there's a lot of women in network marketing that get to the top. So, I think this will share with many of the ladies that are watching that if we can do it, then they can do it too. So I just want to
Okay.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And you did an absolutely sterling job. Marlene is trying to learn more English. She's
Yes.
trying to get into her English market. She travels between the UK and Poland. And Marlena, you're almost there. So you know what? Keep on practicing.
Thank you so much, Mandy. And I'm very very stressful because my English is not good yet, but I'm very proud for you, for MLM brand, and every women's to do it.
Absolutely. And this is why we're doing it, is to share that there's so much negative around this industry. And, when you mention, like Marlena said, it's like a contagious disease, which it really isn't. But when you mention the name, because so many people have been burnt by this industry, I feel so strongly it's because they don't understand it. And I think the more that you learn and the more that you start to fully understand the huge potential that lies ahead for lots of women out there, as Marlena and I are saying, just do it.
Just do it.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, everyone, and we're back just now.
Thank you.
So that's so lovely. I was having such a lovely chuckle again because I remember the energy that we had when we were doing that interview. And bless her, she was so, so nervous. I mean, I actually think it took her 2 days to do this. She had cancelled it and she redid it and cancelled it. So, you know what? Yet again, we put ourselves out of our comfort zone. And you know what? Lo and behold, look what we achieved. So, we've got another wonderful lady up. And I did the recording with Marina because Marina cannot. Be with us at this point in time because she's on the other side of the world in the States, and unfortunately she'll be sleeping at this point in time. So I'm going to just quickly pop over and just give you a little intro to Marina. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. So I'm just going to give me 2 seconds. I'm going to share our presentation. Let me just see. There we go. So, hey everyone, and we're going to have her up first because I'm actually doing this interview first with her. So, Marlena Simone is really a dynamic. I was actually following her and checking out her different platforms to see who she was and what she was all about, and she's a really dynamic person. So, I'm really, really chuffed that we get to hear from her all the way on the other side of the world. It's late my side, it's in the middle of the afternoon her side, and we welcome Marina.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So I just said to you now that your story reads like a bit of a rags to riches. And I think it's super cool because so many wonderful women in this industry have very similar stories to yours where they've hit rock bottom, only to say, you know what, I'm drawing the line here and I'm going to completely transform my life and I'm going to work really hard doing it. So give us a little background as to what made you decide to completely transform your life?
Yeah. Well, first, thank you for asking real questions and, for letting us be who we are and being real. Because sometimes, I think as leaders and successful humans, like we sometimes have to be on so much that we don't talk about like the real stuff enough. And so I appreciate you for inviting me on and being a part of your community because I mean, I'm honored. That means a lot to me. When I think about the rags to riches, I laugh a little bit because my mom cringes. I'll just be 100. Like my mom cringes because I was raised very right. And when I mean that, I mean like she did everything she was supposed to do. She was a single mom of 3 teenage daughters and she sacrificed everything, made sure we went to private Catholic schools. Like, so I was raised where like statistically, like there should have been nothing that went wrong. Right. But I was a teenager that suffered with bipolar depression from trauma, and I went down a different path, and my mom led me down, and she did everything right, and I chose to, hang out with gang members, and I chose to, work in the bars and dance on bars, and I chose a different life that my mom cringes when I start telling these stories. She's proud of me now, but she did the right thing. And so I didn't grow up in the hood, but I ended up in the hood because that's where I chose to go. And so with those decisions, I became a single mom, right? Like was making great money in the bar scene and then became a single mom, couldn't work the bar scene anymore and went to work for someone else making, $17 an hour and could barely survive. And, ended up strapped to a cubicle and letting someone else dictate my life. And what made me decide to change wasn't it because I knew how to make money. It wasn't that. It was more of like, who did I want to be and who did I want to become when I was making money? What did I want my daughter to see? What did I want my daughter to know? And that was the moment for me that changed a lot. Was not my car necessarily getting repossessed while I was at work, because that happened. Not a boyfriend, being violent with me and, breaking my jaw, because that happened. It was the moment of, who did I want my daughter to remember her mom as? Who did I want my daughter to look at her mother as? Like, who was I going to become in the next 10 years? And that scared me because I had no idea and I had no plan. And network marketing was really, honestly, that was the decision for me of like, maybe this could help me become a better person.
So that's really very true, because we live and die by that sword, our choices. And sometimes, I also do a lot of things on the holistic side, and sometimes it's our learning experiences. We all come down to planet Earth to learn. We all come to experience different experiences, good or bad, and some of us pick some very bad ones because we want to enlighten ourselves. So I don't think there's any bad in experiencing what you've experienced, because you grew, you became stronger. And I don't think you possibly would have done most of what you've done had you not have been there. If you had stayed in a privileged life, you wouldn't have hit rock bottom. You wouldn't have had those experiences, which then made you stand up on your own 2 feet and say, no more. I want to change. I want to transform into something way better than what I've just chosen to do. So that's amazing. Okay, so then on the other side, many come into network marketing with the idea that they don't really need to work. So this is a very big one for me, because I talk to people all the time. And as soon as I say, this is your own business, you really have to work at it, we often get, oh no, I'm not salesy, I can't do this. Yet we sell things in our day-to-day life anyway. What is this horrible concept about network marketing that stops people in their tracks when you mention that word? It's crazy. I don't understand it.
So there's a couple of things in that, right? And it took me a long time to understand this and not take it personal when people were like, I don't want to work a business. I'm like, you want to work for someone else, but you don't want to work your own? Like, come on. Because I'm very like black or white, right? Like the gray area confuses me because I can go down some serious rabbit holes with my mental health, right? So what I've found is that most people are saying, I don't believe that I can do it. I don't believe that I could be successful. I don't believe that I'm worth my own business. I don't believe that I'm worth anything more. And they're saying it from a place of anger too. Like, oh no, I don't want to work, because that's what they've been trained to think and feel. And so they're just literally spitting out everything that their Aunt Sally has said and their school teachers have said. And so they're like, they're settling. They're settling to believe that they don't deserve, even not just network marketing. Just think of like outside of network marketing. They don't believe like true happiness is available for them. Abundance is real. Like they'd rather believe a conspiracy theory before they believe a path that we've proven over and over and over again with network marketing works. I mean, my story alone, if I didn't make $1, it changed the way I believe I can be as a parent, be as a wife, be as a friend, be as a mentor, the way I love myself now when I didn't love myself before. Like, there's just so much that's offered, but people are quick to not say no to the work necessarily, but they don't believe that they deserve it. They don't believe that it's possible for them. And so it's easier to say no to the work than to look in the mirror and admit that they don't believe that they're worth it.
I love that. I really do. And I think, yes, a lot of programming we go through as young people growing up. If you're not getting those wonderful accolades from parents like you're good enough, you're really worthy, you're going to continue that programming on the rest of your life. And yes, absolutely. So with that wonderful scenario in mind, and the work ethic that we have to have in this industry, because there is a certain work ethic. You don't get to work 1 or 2 hours a week. You get to work every
But does
single day.
any profession, is there any profession that you can work something 1 to 2 hours a week? That's where I get like, what do you mean 1 to 2 hours a week? Like, you work a job, right? 40 hours a week for a person who has a business. You're working for somebody's brand or business. Do you think they only work 1 to 2 hours a week? Because I promise you, there's not a millionaire on the planet that works 1 to 2 hours a week. There's
Agreed.
not a six-figure earner that works 1 to 2 hours a week. There's not a CEO. There's not a janitor. There's no one in the world that works 1 to 2 hours a week and makes money or makes change or makes impact. Like, that doesn't even exist. But what happens is there's been stories that have been spread by those that want to make it seem like this profession is so easy when it's actually simple. It's simple. It's not easy. It's simple. And so that's what's created this 1 to 2 hours a week. And there's a lot of entitlement that people think that because they put an investment in, they should only have to do X, Y, and Z. Let me tell you, if you think investing $1,000 or less means you're entitled to something, please, let's go tell the crypto that I invested over 500 grand in that might never come back, that I'm entitled to something, because they don't care. It don't care. You know what I mean? So there's no profession in the world you can work 1 to 2 hours a week and make an income. Show me it. Show me it.
Absolutely. And it was really interesting because I teach my team, and we train on, you've got to work this business like a job. It requires that you have certain times that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I know my success has been, it needs to be treated like a job, like I have a boss. And if I don't do my work, I get fired. In my head, it's in the back of my head, and that's the way that I wake up every morning and make sure that I'm at training at 4:30, 5:30 in the morning with my team, and then 9 o'clock again. So I've got 2 training sessions, and that's what keeps me going. Sometimes I ask myself time and time again, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? But we know, because we have such amazing goals in place, and we know that we, as dynamic individuals, have very specific goals that keep us going. Otherwise, we wouldn't be going for years and years. We've got to have something that we work towards.
I want to just say that I've felt like, why am I here? Why am I still doing this? Like, I don't have to keep working my network marketing business. Like, and I can literally shut my brand down. And because of what I've created and the lifestyle I've created, I could shut it all down and just be good. So when I'm feeling uninspired, I think that way. And the same thing happens for people that are in our network marketing businesses or as leaders, or when you feel like you're working your network marketing business instead of inspired to work your network marketing business, there's a problem. So if you're in a place where you're feeling frustrated, you're just not inspired enough, because the frustration's not going to stop you. The frustration's literally just going to like roll off your back like you have oil all over you, like water, right? Like I'm so inspired right now to take 100 women this year from the cubicle to the throne that I don't care if I'm exhausted. I don't care if I have burnout. Like none of that matters because my mission is clear. What I want is clear. I am so freaking inspired right now that nothing is going to stop me from what I want. And so as leaders, we have to get our teams inspired. We can't motivate them, but we
No.
can inspire them by showing them, by leading, and by creating new lines of business.
Agree. I love that. I love that. That is my passion. You know what I love, Marina, about this business is the people that you change. You'll see them coming in with no tools. You'll see them coming in and thinking they can never do what they're going to do. And then you start seeing them go live, and then they go on their own, and then they start creating, more wonderful social media things to get them out there, and they start to really step out of their comfort zone, and you see that person growing. And I think that's where my passion lies, is to see, especially some of the ladies that in my team couldn't even put on the computer, and now they do presentations, and now they are, doing interviews with the team, amongst themselves, and they'll say often, I never ever thought that I could do this, but boy, am I enjoying it, and boy, am I loving that I'm helping people while I'm doing this and while I'm growing. So that's super important for me, I think. So another thing I want to ask, because this is quite it can be quite a busy business, especially if you have months where you've got so many prospects coming and your social media is really thriving. And
My
and
dog
this,
just opened the door. Sorry. Literally, he opened the door.
and he's a clever dog.
Mhm.
So how did you balance growing your business and being a mom?
I sucked at it, honestly, for a very long time. And I think that it's okay to suck at it, by the way. Like you're gonna have to go through things to grow through things. And so in the beginning, when I was trying to become a six-figure earner, like I literally was like working crazy hours trying to figure out what worked, what didn't. I was testing and tweaking. Like, was I really working my business probably as much as in my head I thought I was? No, right? But I was doing extreme things because I wanted extreme results. When I was doing those extreme things to get those extreme results, I feel like I sucked as a mom, just to be honest. Like I feel like my now almost 13-year-old, I feel like I could have done better. I feel like I was definitely a little snippy and snappy. I feel like you know, I feel like I could have just done better, but I always feel like I could do better too. So then I try not to get too much down that road. What I do now, because I run a multiple seven-figure brand, seven-figure network marketing business, and I have other businesses, and I'm a mom, and I'm trying to do my health, is every day I just ask God, and again, whatever you believe in, I ask God to put me where I'm supposed to be, put me in front of the people I'm supposed to be in front of, and help me just be the best me wherever I show up today. And that's all I focus on. I don't believe that there is a perfect balance with business and motherhood and being a wife. Yesterday I went to my mom's, honestly, and I had a breakdown. I had a moment where I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired today. And she said, you're just not inspired today, baby. You're not inspired today. She's like, ask God to guide you. And I needed that. Like I needed that from my mom. Like I needed those moments. So I think for balance, I just needed the support. And so I created a support system. So when I'm not balanced, I can go bounce off of those people. I love my mom, but I wouldn't go to her for business advice because my mom doesn't own a business. But I will go for her for spiritual advice because that's my spiritual leader. So it's like, how can you, instead of looking to have balance, how can you create a support system that can help you get balanced just in that moment?
Agree. And yes, I think I struggle with that as well. And I think also I'm also a people pleaser. So I tend to want to help everyone. And
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest things that I've learned over the last 3.5 years is to stop doing that, because I'm not pleasing anyone, including myself, by doing that. And
Yeah.
I really, really find that I think the more you grow your business, the more you grow within yourself, and you start to really learn that it's it's a little bit like looking at yourself as a CEO, because we know that we look at ourselves as a CEO, but it's a lonely path. Although you've got all these wonderful individuals and this wonderful team that you can, like you say, you can tap into them and you can all be there to, inspire and keep one another motivated. It's still a lonely journey. It's still a lonely journey because you're growing your team, and there's not often a time where you can really share your downs like you do with mom, because you're not supposed to do that with your team, really, because your team is your almost, we won't call them employees, but they are your organization, and you need to be that strong person showing them all the time that you can do this. We can do this together.
I actually show my team my weak points and my weak moments, because I don't want everybody thinking it's puppies and rainbows just because you make a lot of money, and because it's real life. And I think that I have become that leader recently in the last 2 years, where I'm not saying like I go to my team and I'm like, you guys, oh my God. No, but once I've come out of it, I'm like, hey guys, I just want you to know yesterday was not a great day for me. And it wasn't a great day for me because I was freaking tired. And I want you to know, if you're having a tired day, I see you, I feel you, I'm here for you. And I think that's also the part of network marketing that's kind of given a bad image, is that once you make money, you're good. So everybody's running to make that money. And then it can kind of create some problems, just like society does, where it's like, shh, don't talk about the drunk dad, or shh, don't talk about this. It's almost like we're like shushing everybody to think it's puppies and rainbows. And I think that can sometimes cause trauma for people. So I've been much more open with my team, and sharing real life and on my social. So at least they can see it on my social media as well.
So some of your lows, and did you ever really feel like, okay, I'm done, I'm not going to do this anymore?
Oh yeah. I'm bipolar, so I struggle with anxiety and depression. And so my brain is every day I have to nurture it with not just food, but I have to nurture it with what I put in and what I let come out, and then what I hold in. And then I have to be very aware of my brain. But, I had a business partner. I haven't talked about this since 2017. So this is crazy. I'm even bringing this up, but whatever, it's meant to come out. But I had a business partner in my last business, for 4 years. We were best friends, and we built an incredible business together. And something happened. We just started shifting. Like, we started drifting apart, and it was just, I wanted to go one way and she wanted to go another. Now looking back, that's what it really was. But I made a decision to leave the business because I just wasn't happy, and start one all by myself. And I was terrified that what if I wasn't good enough, because I felt that from her. Like, I felt like I was never good enough as a business partner. So I was always, like you said, people pleaser, trying to make her happy, trying to do things for her, that I lost who I was. And before I made the decision to do something on my own and launch on my own, I almost quit completely and decided to go back to work, like get a job, go back to a cubicle. And I was a multiple 6-figure earner. And the money meant nothing to me because I felt so low and I felt like I wasn't worthy. Even though I was a leader, I almost quit and walked away. And I talk to leaders now that have walked away from network marketing because they had bad experiences or because they felt a certain way. And they tell me, like, I'm just not ready to do it again. And I fight them. And I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Like, you were meant for this. Like, let's go. Like, I'm not giving up on you. Like, let's go. Like, we're going to do this. And so, there's moments where I, will get tired like I was yesterday. And I'll be like, why am I doing this still? And it's just, again, I wasn't inspired. So yeah, we all have those lows. It's never going to be perfect.
No, I don't think so either. So yeah, I think there is some very interesting things that can happen with a big organization, with building a big business. And I do think there's some negativeness around building a big team, because you have very, very different characters. You've got some, if you look at all of your personalities, some of your reds that can be exceptionally fiery. and can want to compete with you as a leader, and that can cause a whole lot of wonderful scenarios. So absolutely, and I think it's, look, I often say, network marketing is not for sissies. It isn't, because you really have to work hard. But this is where I want to bring in. We often look in network marketing as our ranks as the highlights, because that is what we're working towards.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to say, were there some really amazing highlights, except you ranking up to the top of your organization? And what were the ones that stood out for you?
When there's a couple actually. So when someone first made $1,000 that was on my team, that was like, okay, what's up? We're gonna make us some money. And then when I started seeing my leaders on stage, like I was in the audience, on the floor, on my knees, front row, videoing their presentations, like just screaming as loud as I could for them. Like I mean, I get chills just thinking about it right now, like the first time that happened. And then watching my team for the first time, like in our company that we're in now, like walk across the stage, like, and their smiles on their faces, like just it lit me up to the place where it was like, it reminds me, like the little things remind me of why I don't stop doing this and why I don't quit. Is the opportunity is, and what it does for people is too big. It's selfish, right? So those are some of the biggest moments for me. Um, in my brand, one of the biggest moments was when we popped our first 7-figure earner, and then we popped another one, and then another one. And so it's never been about me. In fact, I don't like being celebrated. I know that sounds so weird, but like I still have to work through getting compliments and being celebrated. I'm not the one that wants the celebration or wants to be the center of attention. I'm introverted, so I like to be in the back creating and being like, the orchestrator at the back or whatever. But those those moments for me, they matter. They're moments that matter.
So I think you've answered this one already for me, but what really keeps you in this industry?
I think about the simple yes that I said to join this industry has impacted almost 150,000 humans, whether they're customers, whether they're distributors in my network marketing business. And then I look at the 70,000 students that I've helped with my brand. And I'm like, all because I just said yes and I never gave up. And it's weird because like you look back and you're just trying to make an extra $500 to get your car from being repossessed. And then it does something completely different to you. It gives you a life you deserve, whatever that is. So why would I stop?
Yeah, that's super awesome. So, advice to women and men for that matter, about thinking about building a business with network marketing. What would be the advice you would give them?
Just be ready to fail and have fun failing, because you can only learn what success will be when you fail, and then test and tweak. Like if you can embrace that coming into this profession, any profession, right? A surgeon isn't a great surgeon until they've cut a lot of times, and we don't know about the people they probably messed up cutting. We're going to put that out there, right? So you're going to mess up. You're not going to hurt anybody when you mess up over here. So that's the good news, and you're going to learn skill sets that you can use in any part of your life, and you will have change. So embrace the suck, embrace that you're going to fail, and have some fun, and know that there's going to be change, whether you can see it right now or you see it 10 years from now, that this industry and profession will give you.
That was amazing advice. And you know what, Marina, I also think, it's looking at this industry now that I totally understand and have a bit more of an idea of how it really, or the potential to really build a big business if you put your energy into it. If you look at youngsters today coming out of varsity, going into college, only going to sit in industries where they are going to, have an office job, I actually hope that so many more of them see the potential of this industry, because there's a wonderful book that I talk about often, is the 4-year career, and how many, I look back on, and I'll tell you my little story too, because my starts about 35 years ago when I was a wonderful person selling shake. I won't name the name, but the shake. So I'd lost a lot of weight and I was selling shake like a crazy person. And it was so funny because I walked into an auditorium where they were having a really big convention, and I walked into all these happy people, and I looked around. I mean, unbeknown to me, like really ignorant and so naive. And I looked at this and I thought, oh my Lord, I'm walking into a cult. I'm going to leave right now. I turned around because there were so many people that were so happy. I thought, how can they all be happy? And what are they all happy about? They were all hugging and kissing one another. And I'm terribly like, don't invade me, my space. This is my space. Do not hug me. Do not have close contact with me. I'm just that type of person. And I looked at this and I walked out, and my leader came running after me and she said to me, where are you going? I said, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I never want to do this industry again. Don't talk to me. Don't phone me. I'm finished. And I never touched it again. I really never touched it. And I wish sometimes, I can kick myself thinking that I wish that someone had taken my hand and said, listen, with your potential to sell shake like a crazy person, I want to show you how you really build this organization. And no one did, because back then we didn't have social media, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have a way to build our businesses internationally. So we were talking to neighbors, we were talking to family. Eventually they hated us, because if you came near them to sell another shake or another product, they were like, oh my word, we don't want your product anymore. So I think it's really changed. I often look back at network marketing as the dinosaur that it was, and how it's totally transformed us into not having to do that anymore, not having to talk to the neighbor and the family, and having the potential to, as you've done, build huge organization around the world.
I will say I did the face-to-face thing too. Because I wasn't allowed to use social media back in 2011. So with our company. So I literally was handing out CDs to gas station attendants and talking to random strangers, and it was uncomfortable. So yeah, we definitely have an incredible opportunity. And I think the youngsters, like you were saying, like they can actually see it. Like they're not against network marketing at all. They're against the old school ways. They're against the dinosaur ways, right? Like they know that there's a better way because they understand, AI and technology and all these crazy things. And so I think we're going to see, personally, I think in the next 4 years, we're going to see more youngsters, millennials, like not even millennials, whatever the new ones are called, right? Like even my daughter's age, like we're going to see a whole slew of entrepreneurs. And it's just going to be absolutely incredible, and it's going to change the world.
I agree. I do. And I think, what, they'll start realizing, because I often say that humanity has been slaves to the industry and we need to stop that. And I think our youngsters, they're meant to be enjoying themselves, building business and traveling the world and having fun. That's what we're all meant to be as humans. So I think I see the same future, and I do think there are going to be more and more youngsters popping on, as you said, because they understand TikTok, they understand social media, so it's easy for them. Well, Marlena, it's been absolutely fabulous. I want to thank you one more time for popping on and coming to chat and sharing all your wonderful information. And hopefully we're going to see you soon.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Sorry, my computer's about to die. I'm like, no, I don't want it to hang up on her. But thank you so much for having me. And I just have to tell you, like, your energy is so contagious, and you just have this light and aura that literally just projects off of you. So thank you so much for sharing that with me today.
It's an absolute pleasure. Lovely meeting with you. Thanks, everyone. So I loved having that chat with Marlena, because she's just so grounded. She's just so honest, and she was so happy to do the interview with me, not having to be something like her powerful self, that she could just be easy and just relaxed. So we totally enjoyed that interview together. So last but not least is a wonderful dynamic woman, and I actually call her the Instagram queen, because I have been following her, and every time she pops up, I'm going to say this to her as well, I get a bit freaked out, because I so want to do and get going with my reels. And when I look at her and I think, I can't do what Alicia's doing. How does she do that? And I'm going to get her on now. But first and foremost, I'm going to do a little introduction.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
And I'm going to let Alicia introduce herself.
So who am I? My name's Alicia Fernandez and I live on the beautiful Gold Coast here in Australia, originally half Indian, half English, but I grew up in Dubai. And because I grew up in Dubai, I'm almost, I guess, obsessed, or I have a passion for fashion. And so I love to blog about clothes, particularly bargain shopping, because I truly believe we don't have to spend $1 million to look like $1 million. I'm married to the love of my life, Lloyd. We've been together for over 10 years, been married for nearly 6 years. We have a miniature dachshund named Chili, a little sausage dog. He's 14 and a half years old and he just brings so much joy into our lives. I'm obsessed with spicy food, love anything chili related. And 8 years ago, I went on a bit of a transformation myself. And so I lost 10 kilos. And what I love to blog about the most are weight loss tips and health tips for women who want to lose weight and keep it off long term without having to eat rabbit food. So that's a little bit about me. I'm looking forward to getting to know you a bit better.
And I'm going to bring on that lovely lady.
Oh my goodness, Mandy, thank you so much. I'm like smiling from ear to ear because you've just put in so much effort behind the scenes, and I just wanted to, showcase you and highlight you for creating this platform. So thank you so much for having me. What an absolute honor. I'm excited. If you're getting value from this summit, make sure you pour Mandy some love in the comments because you should be so proud of yourself.
Oh, thank you. And let me just let everyone know that Alicia has had to wake up at the crack of dawn so that she can be live. And she did not want to do a recording. She said, no, I'm going to be live. So hats off to you. So she's wiping her eyes, she's flicked her hair, and she's here bright and breezy and bushy.
That's right, girlfriend. Let's go. Let's provide as much value in the shortest amount of time.
You're an absolute star. So let's start off because I love your energy. You are just vibrant. So what made you get into MLM?
Oh, good question. All right. So let's summarize 9 years into about 1 minute. So I love this question so much because we can actually learn through my story. So if you're taking notes, get your notepad out because I'm going to share some stories. Some lessons with my stories. So we started, network marketing in 2014. Oh my goodness. And, I didn't start for a business. I didn't start for network marketing. I didn't even know what that was back then. I pretty much wanted to lose weight. I wanted to lose 10 kilos. And I was trying all these different diets back then, and I'd lose a few kilos, put it back on as soon as I looked at carbs. And so I was struggling. And my sister-in-law knew that because I shared, my secrets with her and my struggles with her. And she said to me one day, we were face to face, she's like, I'm about to start this weight loss program. Do you want to do it with me? Okay, lesson number 1, you don't necessarily have to have a transformation or an experience yet to talk to someone about it. She hadn't even started yet and she told me because she knew what my struggles were, what my pain points were. And I said, absolutely. Why? Because I trust her. Again, trust. I knew her, I liked her, I trusted her. So I said, sure, but order Lloyd a box as well, which is my husband. So we all jumped in together. More fun, more accountability. And I had an amazing transformation. I lost about 10 kilos in less than 60 days. Lloyd, my husband, lost like 14 kilos, got his energy back. Brooke, she's my sister-in-law, she got more energy. Anyways, so I was like, yes, love the product, sustainable, can do this long term. Again, didn't know it was MLM, didn't know it was network marketing. I was just doing a program with my sister-in-law. Anyways, I posted on social media, believe it or not, my before and after photos because I was proud, right? But I was nervous. Lloyd tells a story. My husband tells a story all the time. He goes, It took Alicia like 5 hours to post her transformation on social media. And when I finally posted it, I threw my phone, I got my iPhone, I threw it on our bed, I put the covers over it, and I was like, I'm not looking at the comments, I'm scared. And I left the house, and I was like, I'm not even looking at it. Because I was scared of judgment. I was scared of people writing negative comments. And guess what, Mandy? When I pulled up my phone, guess what? It was just positive comments after positive comments after positive comments. And my sister-in-law sent me a message, and she was just like, wow, you got a lot of people interested. And I was like, yeah. So what? And she goes, do you want me to help you get them started? Because when you get them started, you get a referral bonus. And that was my first, I guess, introduction to network marketing. And so I was like, yeah, sure. So she had helped me set them up. The next week we got paid. Lloyd, my husband, he looked at our banking app and he was like, holy heck, have you seen how much we got paid? And I was like, no. And then that excited him because he was like, what? If we can make an extra $500 a week, nothing crazy, not a gazillion dollars overnight. If we can make an extra $500 a week whilst working full time, we're both working full time, we can take that money and we can invest it. And we can accelerate our wealth creation for when we're older. And I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay. I just want to buy beautiful clothes, but if you want to do that, fine. And so Brooke, she was just like, I can see you're both excited. I'd love to introduce you to my great friend, Andrew. And I believe you had Andrew and Angie on your last summit. And so we went to a coffee with Andrew. So again, a three-way, but it was face-to-face back then. You know how they talk about set up a three-way chat. We were already in network marketing. We had already used the products, but Brooke was like, they're excited. Let me set up a three-way because Brooke doesn't like selling. She doesn't like casting the vision. So she outsourced. So write that down, outsource. If you don't know how to cast a vision yet, you don't know how to talk about the money, outsource to someone else who does. And so we went to coffee. Andrew shared his story. Guess what? That is vision casting. Just share your story, share your experience of where you were and now where you are. And so he was like, well, the next steps are to come to an event. Okay, come to a face-to-face event, a corporate event. And we're like, oh my gosh, back then our weekends were just reserved for like partying and going out and drinking. We're like, really? And he goes, well, if you want what I have, then obviously you've got to do what I've done. And I've gone to events. I've never missed an event and I've never gone alone. And that's what he said to us. Anyway, so we went to this event. We saw what was possible because I personally couldn't relate to Andrew Logan. Because he's not my person, right? He's an amazing guy, but he's a guy, he's a physio. I had to hear from, people my age, women of my age being successful. And so I got it. And then Lloyd heard a story from someone else and he got it. And so we're on the car on the way home that day. And that's the decision, Mandy. People always ask me, they're like, when did you go all in? It was after our first corporate event because we saw the stories. Not only that, we're like, write this down. Like network marketing is a done for you business, right? But you are what you have to plug in. You are the marketing, right? And so we're like, it's a no-brainer. Let's just make that extra $500 a week. Right? Invest it, grow together. And that's what we did. And you know what? We were an overnight success. We made $1 million that following week. No. We were so bad. We were not coachable. We're like, we're going to go do it our own way. We are marketers? Sure, let's go market. We went to a nearby theme park. I've shared this story before. We printed out these beautiful flyers. We're like, this is it. We've got it. We've cracked the code. And we started handing out all these flyers on cars. And then we would hide if a car comes because we were embarrassed. And we're like, pretty sure this is illegal. But that's how our journey started. So I want you to know if you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do reels yet. I don't know how to post on social media. Neither did I. Neither did Mandy. Neither did Marina. But we've worked on ourselves. These are all skill sets. And so that's all we've done over the last 8 years. We've continually looked for mentors. We're like, okay, what are the areas I'm lacking in? Or what are the areas I'm not good at yet? Who can I work with? Who can I partner with as a mentor who can shortcut my success And that's what we've done. And so if anyone ever asks me, they're like, okay, what's your couple of tips for, how you've made, $1 million and all that beautiful stuff that comes with this company? It's just like, we were committed. We're like, we are all in. We dove in. We didn't dip our toes. Oh my gosh, that's the worst. It's like pulling off a Band-Aid, like really slowly, just rip it off. We're like, we're all in. We're going swimming. We're going to see that this is for us. And it was. And we've never quit. We've always gone to a corporate event to build our belief, always, no matter what. And we've never gone alone. And we've continued to work on ourselves. So, that was 8 years, Mandy, 2014, nearly, 10 years soon. I'm like, 9 years ago. And, it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey. So I hope my story over there inspired you or taught you a few lessons around network marketing.
Well, I can tell you, Alicia, that we've learned a lot from you because we've met you through Andrew and through your wonderful summits that you've done with him. So I can tell you, your wonderful story of popcorn still stays in my head every single day. Pop, pop, pop. I'll never forget that, okay? And you know what? It is exactly that. So this is very interesting for me, though, because you always talk about being this introvert, okay? And yes, you have not ended up being an introvert. Now, there's so many people, so many women who will say, there is no way I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. There is no way I'm going to be able to make a reel. I cannot, and I don't want to show myself on social media. You give us some thoughts on that.
For sure, for sure. So pop quiz, when you look at all successful entrepreneurs when they first started out on their journey, do you think they were successful because they had money? Do you think they were successful because they had education? Do you think they were successful because they had certainty? Or do you think they were successful because they had courage? Right? Courage. And doing Facebook Lives, doing reels, speaking on stage, speaking to someone about the opportunity, sharing my story to people, it never came naturally. Networking, oh my gosh, networking for me. I remember going to my first face-to-face networking event, and I was like, I'm not cut out for this. This is not me. And the thing is, that's where we give up too quickly. Because when you hear someone, and there may be someone in your team, you may be that person who goes, I tried it, but it wasn't for me. I want you to think about asking the person, okay, what about that business wasn't for you? What about that business isn't for you? Because that may be a skill that you're lacking. And the skill that I was lacking when I first started my journey was confidence. I didn't have confidence back then. I was working in a legal department. I was in a tiny little cubicle. The only person I ever spoke to was my boss and Lloyd when I came home. So I was very shy. I was very introverted, but I was like, I want what those people had on stage. So I'm going to go to work on myself. I'm going to go and work on myself. And was it an overnight thing? No, it took me courage to do that social media post, Mandy. It took courage for me to do my first Facebook Live. Again, Lloyd will share the story. Before I went live, I was like, I can't tell our team to go live if I'm not going live. And I was pacing up and down this hallway here, and I was like, oh my God, like the terror sweats and the bum sweats. And I was like, this is so horrible. But did I feel better afterwards? Yes. And if you go to the gym, you work on getting muscles. Oh, my muscles look okay. But they don't come overnight. It's just doing the reps over and over and over again. And that's exactly what I've done in 8 years. I've done the baby steps, the Facebook post, the Facebook Live, the sharing the stories. That when my mentor goes, can you share your story on a team call? Sure. Nervous, do it anyways, right? Speak on stage. Can you speak on stage? Can you share your experience? Nervous, sure. Poop my pants, sure. But all those little things along the way, Mandy, built my self-confidence, built my self-worth because I was scared. But I went through it and achieved it. And so I think this introverted to extroverted, I've also learned it. So me being on this call, I'm energized, I'm ready. I want to provide as much value as possible. And again, it's a skill set. The rest of the day, I'll put my jammies on, I'll put my hair in a knot, and I'll chill out. But I want to provide, value. And so I think for people who are like, I'm nervous, I'm scared. Normal. But the more we do it, the more we get comfortable doing it. So me being on this call right now with you, not scared at all, not nervous at all. But if you had asked me to do this maybe 3-4 years ago, I wouldn't have slept last night. But I've just done more of it. So I hope that answered your question, Mandy. It really is. And I hate to say it, but you've got to go through it. You've got to go through it in order for you to get that confidence, because that's where self-worth comes from. If I just went, here's $1 million, Mandy, have fun with it, you wouldn't have any self-worth because you haven't earned it. You haven't earned it. And people admire you now because you're on these, you're creating these events, you do your Facebook Lives, they see you, you're amazing. People admire you. Why? Because it's challenging. Not everyone can do it. But everyone can do it if they put in the work. And so, yeah, going from introverted to extroverted is just practice and courage.
Agree. And it is, if I look at myself 3 years ago till now, exactly that. When I did my first training session with my team, I had to change my shirt because I was sweating when I was finished because it was so nerve-wracking. And now when I do it, it's, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But
Exactly.
This is it. You have to practice and you get better and you get more confident. So as far as I'm concerned, and I followed your Instagram account, you are the Instagram queen. So your videos are entertaining, fun, informative. How do you come up with content every single day?
Oh, good. Juicy question. I just want to give a shout out to Andrea, Lezanne. Thank you so much for the beautiful comments as well. One of you, your Facebook user, I don't know your name, but thank you so much for commenting as well. Where do I come up with my content? Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning when I first started on social media. So when I was like, okay, I want to do this, but I don't want to build the business face to face because I'm scared, I'm introverted. I was like, okay, social media, let's go, baby. But back then I only used social media to post about how hungover I was, or, to write negative comments. I can't believe I was that person, but we all grow and evolve, right? And so I used to get 2 likes on my posts. One from my mom, go mom, and one from Lloyd. Okay, again, if you look at me, do not compare my chapter 50 to your chapter 1. I also started off not knowing how to use social media. And so what I did at the very beginning was, I was like, who are two people that I really want to be? I inspire to be. They have what I want, and I model them. Okay? So I was like, okay, they're successful. They're doing X, Y, and Z. I'm going to model them until I find my own voice, until I find my own flow. And that's exactly what I did. And as I've gone through my journey, I've tested and measured. Marina said that earlier. She said, test and tweak. So I haven't waited for permission from someone to go, here, do this Facebook post or try this. I'm like, I'm just going to go and do it. Have I had reels flop? Absolutely. Have I had Facebook posts that have flopped? Absolutely. But in order for us to figure out what's right, we have to know what's wrong. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing, myself included. At the beginning, I was getting ready to get ready, but that gave me no feedback at all. And so, if you're struggling on what to post on social media, just do the post. Oh my goodness. 3% of your followers see your posts. So you could post the same thing over and over and over again, and not everyone would see it. So don't feel like, oh my God, people are getting sick of me because I'm posting all the same things. No, hardly anyone sees it. And so where do I get inspired now? I scroll with intention. So write that down. I scroll with intention. So when I go onto social media now, I watch reels. Yes, I watch reels, but it's almost like research. And I'm like, okay, why did this reel make me stop? That's a hook. Why? Okay, what are they doing that made me stop? Take note of that. Success leaves clues. Okay, what caption did they use? What are they wearing? What have they got in the background? What are they saying? And so I scroll with intention, I pick up some ideas, and then I create my own. But at the start, I modeled. By modeled, I was like, I just copied. And then I found, and now I found my own flow. And so do not let, I guess, paralysis of analysis hold you back. Just test and measure, test and tweak, like Marina said, and you will find your own voice. And then what I do personally, Mandy, is I give myself a self-audit. So say after like 30 days, I go back and I'll look at my posts that I've done and I was like, which ones did well? Which ones did well? Which ones didn't do so well? Okay, cool. I'm going to double down on the ones that did well. And that's almost how you find out what your audience wants. And so, yeah, to answer your question, it's, I scroll with intention and look at people and see why is their content converting.
So I hope that you are all learning some amazing things, because this is what Alicia, she has wonderful nuggets of gold. So social media plays a huge role in growing our businesses to encourage the growth of our organizations. Many look at social media very negatively. Have you seen social media amp up your business to success? And I think you've kind of answered that as well, because you are hugely successful. What do you find more beneficial? Is it you're really very, very strong on Instagram as opposed to the other social medias? Do you have a YouTube? Do you have, you've got a Facebook, but do you go onto the other TikTok? Do you go onto all the other platforms as well?
Good question. So I am on a lot of platforms, but I want people to know too, like right now where we are in our business, we have a virtual assistant. So we have someone helping us. Okay. So sometimes if you do see like these bigger influencers or these, I don't want to say more successful people that have like a big online presence, I want you to know that they probably have help. Okay, they probably have help of people, a support network behind them. And so if you're just starting out on your social media journey, which a lot of us are, we're trying to figure this thing out, this beast out, like what are algorithms, what's all this stuff? Just know that different platforms pretty much have different languages. And so I always suggest to people, I'm like, okay, just get good at one. Okay, just work on Facebook. If that's your primary, your baby, work there, build a community there. Okay, once you're happy and you're confident and you found your flow, introduce another one. Okay, then go on Instagram, get to know that platform, build a community there. Okay, cool. I'm good at Facebook. I'm good at Instagram now. I've built a community, a bit of a following, some raving fans. I'll explore TikTok. And the thing is, like when you're producing content like reels and posts, you can repurpose. And repurposing is, creating one piece of content and then posting it on different social media platforms. But yeah, that's great. But I want you to think about building a community and building an engaged following. And the thing is, no matter which social media platform you're on, and I'm like going to talk about this more, is make sure that you're collecting emails. Okay, because social media is amazing. We can network under the covers in our pajamas. We can talk to people all around the world. We've built majority of our business on social media, but social media is a rented platform. Okay, you could open up your app tomorrow and your Facebook account could be deactivated. You could wake up tomorrow on Instagram and it's gone. But that's why it's so important to look at different ways of collecting emails, because then that way you'd never, ever, ever run out of a way of contacting your potential customers in the future. So social media is amazing because you can network with people who are your niche audience. They are your ideal audience. You don't have to go to a networking event and speak to 200 people to find that one. You could go into a Facebook group and find your ideal customer like that. And that's why I love social media, because I can really engage and network with people like you, Mandy. You're in freaking South Africa and we are on this summit together because of why? Social media. And so it's so, so, so important in our journey doing business today. I feel like people who neglect social media, I hate to say it to you, but you're going to get left behind. And it's never too late to learn. Just find a mentor who can shortcut it for you, tell you the do's and don'ts, and let's go, baby. Let's play. And so social media, amazing, but make sure that you are finding ways of collecting emails, I guess, is to answer your question.
That was a very, very good tip, because exactly that. I mean, we had a time where it was gone for just a day or so, and it was like there was something wrong there, but it came back again. And it was really interesting because in that time period, none of us knew what to do. It was like, OMG, that's gone. What do we do now? So that's really important. So we do need to keep that in mind. Okay, so now you and your hubby, Lloyd, and Lloyd is as energetic as you, by the way, and as amazing on social media and is Instagram. have become part of the Millionaires Club last year in your business, and I saw that wonderful accolade and you celebrating. How did this change your lives? Because I think, the build-up in network marketing, we know how hard it is to get your business going, and then you get to that point where you're like, oh my word, it's that car that you're pushing up the hill. You get to the top and it's the joyride on the other side, and you just think, we've done it. How does that feel?
Oh, so that was, I think, a year and a half ago. But the thing is, like, when we first started, when we went to that very first event, we were like, okay, we want to be millionaires, right? Because it's such a great, I guess, scorecard of all the things that you've done along the way to get there. So that was like our big goal, our big vision, right? But then we broke it down, like I shared earlier. We're like, okay, let's just focus on making an extra $500 per week. Okay, so we really broke it down, and then we broke it down even further. We're like, okay, if we're going to make $500 a week, what does that actually look like with business activity? And so we're like, well, for us, and this is, this is kind of just the KPIs that we have, and we do this like still now. We're like 5 brand new customers a month and 1 rank advancement. That is our focus. That is our bare minimum, and that's what keeps us focused, because we can get distracted all the time. And so that's what we've just done, right? We've just done that over and over and over again. But when we hit millionaire, it was just like we've celebrated, they had us on calls, had us on stages, all that stuff that comes with it. But it's just like when you reflect, it goes, okay, who have we become in the last few years to earn that $1 million? What have we done in order to achieve that $1 million? And when we look, we're like, so many of our team have won. We've become better people. And the thing is, like, I love network marketing. I love it because what it's done is it's given me the skills, it's given Loy the skills in a safe environment to practice, to test, to measure with very, very, very low risk, to learn those skills, to go away and build different businesses. So we have 2 other businesses aside from our network marketing business now. And that would never have been possible without network marketing, because we have had this amazing opportunity to practice and learn and innovate in a safe environment to go away and do that. And so if you were to be like, here's $1 million, right here, here's $1 million, Andrea, Lezanne, like, here's $1 million, or here are the skills to make $1 million, which one would you take? Would you take the $1 million straight away, or the skill set acquired? Of course, you're going to choose the skills, because then you can go away and do it over and over and over again. And that's been the journey to $1 million. Like, yes, we've had amazing adventures and things like that, but it's the skill set that I have, the confidence that I have now, that the $1 million is just a scorecard and a byproduct of that. And so it's been a great journey. We've only just begun, but the coolest thing is now is just like, yes, we're there, we got there, so let me show you how to do it. And that's the same as making $100. People are like, oh my God, I'm not a leader, or I don't know how to talk about the opportunity or the money with network marketing. If you've made $1 in network marketing, you can show someone how to make $1. You only have to be, because this is like the imposter syndrome, you only have to be 1 day ahead of the person behind you. If you know one thing extra, you can teach someone. You don't have to be this amazing like expert and know the ins and outs. So, now that we've made $1 million, we can show people how to make $1 million. If you've made $1, you can show other people to make $1. And so, yeah, it's the person that I've become in, the journey to $1 million. It's been so exciting, but not only that, seeing other people win along the way as well.
That's amazing. So I think I thank you actually for changing the mindset about social media, because as I said, we were in Andrew's training when we saw you, and my entire mindset was changed forever on that day. I really want to thank you, because just how you explained it was so simplistic, and it was so well put over that I was like, OMG, that's what social media is all about. I finally realized that your profile is your auditorium, and you bring people in, and then you have this wonderful person saying, who wants the popcorn? And you don't care about everyone. You only want to find or sell your popcorn to the person who really wants popcorn. And when I listened to that, I was like, oh my word, that's amazing. I was totally blown away. So I totally love, and we train on this in the team all the time. So we are forever grateful, and this is where I think mentoring is what you said is so important, is to find the people that you relate to, and you get those little nuggets of gold that are taking you from one little step in your business to the next one, because that really changed the way that I was looking at social media. And I suddenly didn't become afraid of it anymore. I suddenly thought, okay, well, this is interesting. I can do that. I can bring new people into my auditorium. I can be the professor. Now what we're learning is be the professor and step out onto your platform and start educating and start telling people. Because if we don't tell people, then no one knows what we do. And this is the thing about social media. So, what advice do you have for those network marketing haters out there? I know that hate is a strong word, but truly I was one of them, simply because I never understood the industry. So, what are your thoughts on people who have been burnt? Should we say by the industry and then blame the industry for their failure?
Oh, goosebumps. It's funny. I was like, I can't be a hater of network marketing because I didn't even know what it was. But yeah, thank you for being so honest as well. So I guess I shared this on a podcast episode the other day. And, a lot of people are, I guess, apprehensive. Let's go back to social media, to post on social media because of judgment. Okay. The fear of judgment, the fear of looking bad, the fear of rejection, all of those beliefs that we have around, doing something new. But when it comes to haters, have you ever heard about the crab in the bucket analogy before? Have you heard of that before?
You can tell us.
Okay, so there's a crab. If you put a crab in a bucket by itself, okay, it gets out easily. All right. But if you put 4, 5, 6 crabs in a bucket, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. You could probably go away and YouTube it. But if the crab tries to get out of the bucket, the other crabs, what do? They pull the crab back in. All right. And so same principle applies with us as human beings, is when we go and do something different, when we are leaving the tribe, when we are leaving the comfort zone with other people in it, we as human beings, psychology, we want to pull other people back into the bucket because we don't want to change yet. We don't want to get uncomfortable yet. And so we tend to pull people back. And so I guess if you're experiencing hate right now, it may be because you're making other people uncomfortable around you because they're not ready to change yet. They're not ready to, I guess, grow as a person. And this happened to me in real life. Like when I first started out on my journey, I was like, blogging about it on social media. And 2 years into my journey, we actually enrolled this couple, an old friend from when I lived over in Dubai. And we went over to our house and we were sitting down, we were having dinner. And she goes, you know what? I was like, what? She goes, we're actually waiting for you to fail. We're like, whoa, like what? And she goes, we were watching and we were hoping that you would fail. And I was like, holy, that's so mean. And she goes, but because you've been so consistent and because you've been blogging about it for 2 years, that's when we decided to join you. And so at the beginning, it may feel tough that you have maybe some people saying negative things to you. They just don't understand yet. They don't want to grow. They want to stay comfortable. So they're going to remember the crab in the bucket. They're trying to pull you back in. But guess what? When you get out of the bucket, you get to hang around with people that don't like to pull you back in. They like to pull belief into you, like Mandy. Okay, so get out of the bucket first and foremost. Okay, know that there will be some hate for sure. It's just people are criticizing you because they don't want to grow. But guess what? Here's where it gets fun. When people are talking about you, they're actually they're promoting you. So get excited about that. If someone is bitching about me or talking about me in a negative way to someone else, say Bob and Mary, we like to use those 2 names, guess what? Bob and Mary are going to be like, who is this Alicia Fernandez? I need to go stalk her. I need to go check her out. They come over to my profile. They check me out. They see that I'm providing some value and they go, she's pretty cool. Follow. They go in. They may buy one of my courses. guess what? The person bitching about me negatively is actually just promoting me. And so again, always think about it and be like, oh, maybe it's a good thing. And so hate, crab in the bucket, but also it's great for engagement and it's great for self-promotion. And so just changing, I guess, the perspective around it. Hopefully that helps.
Absolutely, it does. And yet again, she brings energy, she brings wonderful knowledge, and it's a wonderful end to our Women's Summit. I hope that those wonderful people that were watching and will watch in the future will gain loads and loads of wonderful, wonderful information to boost their businesses. Maybe you're even going to hop on and you're going to get going, as Marina and I said, and Marlena, just do it. Just get on there and do it, and know that you were like Alicia, started right in the beginning, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to do it. And as she started, what did she say? Copying and learning. That's how we all learn in this industry. So I do believe that one of the major things in this industry is you have to be coachable. You have to want to learn, and the more you do, and the more you put things in action, the more confident you become, and the more you grow. And then you end up being a wonderful leader that leads your team and yourself to success in the future. I want to thank you, Alicia, so much for waking up and coming to give amazing information as you always do. Absolutely love it. To all of you out there who thoroughly, I hope, thoroughly enjoyed our 2-hour summit, we wish you a wonderful evening. For those of you that are waking up, enjoy the Sunday like Alicia, and go get into your pajamas, put your hair up, and put your feet up.
Thank you so much, Mandy. You're the best.
Cheers, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Bye.